videoing this from my backyard in beautiful Washington State, but in this video I'm going to give you 10 reasons why I'm going to be moving out of Washington State into Texas. One of the first reasons that comes to mind is cost of living. Right now I live near Seattle, Washington, and in order to buy a reasonably sized house here, you're looking at at over $1 million. For instance, this house that I'm renting right now, 3-bedroom, 3-bath, nothing super special. And it's valued at over 1.2 million. And a comparable house in Plano, Texas area where I'm going, even though they're rising rapidly, is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like half the price of this house, maybe to just over half. Please stick around to the end of the video because I am going to tie this back into investing, and specifically the roundabout style of Austrian investing that I teach about on this channel. Another reason I'm moving to Texas is that it's more business friendly in general. One of my goals after I move is to start my own financial advising business. This YouTube channel is part of that. And if you look at the way different states have treated businesses through the pandemic, although I don't agree with almost any of the restrictions that were put on during coronavirus, Texas has been much more business friendly and has a more business friendly attitude than the state of Washington where I'm in right now. Another reason is Southern hospitality. I don't know if you heard of something called the Seattle Freeze, but it's kind of a thing. People here seem to be a little more cold and standoffish, whereas from what I've experienced so far down in Texas and the South, people are pretty friendly and got that Southern hospitality. Another reason I'm moving to Texas is there's no state income tax. There's also no state income tax in Washington where I'm at now, which is one of the main reasons I moved here a couple of years ago from Oregon, which had an almost 10% income tax. So there's very few states I would even consider moving to from here, and Texas, Florida, New Hampshire are some of them because they also have no state income tax. Another reason to move to Texas, barbecue. I'm out here by my Auto Wild grill, grilling up a steak, and being a carnivore, in fact, I'm on the carnivore diet right now. I'm looking forward to Texas having all kinds of meat and barbecue, really tasty food down there. Another reason to be leaving the Seattle area is the local government is completely socialist and they've lost control of the city. You probably saw last year with Chaz, the autonomous zone, local leaders totally let the city down and lost control. And they lost control of the police. The police here are impotent. They can't do anything. Crime is rampant. Homelessness is rampant. And then we have a governor who has the gall to act like he doesn't even know what's happening when they've completely lost control of the city. Another reason to move to Texas is more sunshine. As you can see right here, it's a pretty cloudy day, typical. And I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, so I actually don't mind it too much, the clouds and the rain, but it's gonna be nice to get some more sun and get some more vitamin D. It's gonna help my mood, help my health. Yet another reason to move to Texas is this man right behind me here, longtime congressman, former congressman from Texas, and one of the very few, if not the only politician who spent a long time in Washington, D.C. and was able to stick to his principles of freedom, liberty. He's a great champion for Austrian economics, and just the fact that he was able to get reelected so many times in Texas tells you something about Texas. And there's no way someone of his caliber would get elected to Congress for the state of Washington. That the people that they elect are not even close. So Ron Paul, one more reason. So I think I'm at about reason number 8 now out of 10 of why we're moving to Texas. And with these last two, I really want to get to the core of the issue of why we're moving, because I've been keeping it light, beating around the bush a little bit, but the real reason is a lot of it has to do with my daughter. I have a 7-year-old daughter. She's going to be entering the 2nd grade next year, and we just want to have her in the right environment. We are trying to raise her in a Christian home, conservative family values, and I grew up in the Pacific Northwest. I grew up in Portland. I know things lean to the left here, but this whole last year has taken things to another level. With COVID and all the draconian restrictions, the tyrannical governments and the lockdowns, and seeing the violence in the streets, it's just gotten to be too much. And also just the woke ideology. I know we're not going to, that moving to Texas is not going to be the silver bullet where all that goes away. I am very well aware of Austin, Dallas, big cities. They lean to the left. But things up here, if you've been following the news at all in Portland and Seattle, they're just on a whole nother level here. And I grew up here, but I just can't see raising my daughter in this environment. So that's a big part of it. And really what it comes down to, if you look behind me here, Mises, he understood what socialism was. He fled socialism. He has a book titled Socialism. You should read it. And really, I think that's what we're fighting here. And it's full-blown up here in the Northwest. And I feel like, at least in Texas, there's still some semblance of people who understand what freedom's about, what America's about. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I said I was going to tie this all back into investing. And I apologize for the lighting and setup here. As I mentioned, I'm in the middle of moving, so all of my camera gear and lighting gear is on its way to Texas as we speak. But what I wanted to show you here is just kind of the concept of roundabout investing. And so let's just say you've got a goal. Here you are right now. Here's your goal. Now, the direct way to reach your goal would just be to follow this straight line path right to your goal. And maybe sometimes that works out. But what roundabout, the idea of roundabout investing, a roundabout path is, say you're here, your goal's here, and perhaps maybe you're working towards your goal and there could be some obstacle, something in your way, and you actually might have to take a different path around and then come up here, and then maybe you get to your goal. And perhaps you're zigging when everyone else is zagging. And to relate this to investing, it could be the difference between chasing the hottest meme stock, GME, AMC, versus this dip could be, well, maybe you're seeing market trouble and you need to go to cash. And while everyone else is here making money, you've had to go down here and you're sitting in cash, not making anything. But it turns out this is the path you need to take, as the market could take a big crash, and then you're in the best position to take advantage of it. And relating that to moving to Texas, right now I have lots of goals. I'm trying to start a new business. I'm studying for the CFA exam. The last thing I want to be doing is picking up all my stuff and moving halfway across the country. It's a major hassle, but it's one of those things that I feel that eventually it's going to pay off. I'm taking some short-term pain now for long-term gain. And these are some of the same ideas that I like to apply to investing. And I hope you will continue to watch my channel. My next few videos may be recorded in my new house in Texas. Again, I apologize, it's taken me a month to get this video out as I've been busy dealing with the move. But I will hope to make more videos to explain this concept in more detail. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you soon.